All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Unusual Engineering Careers panel. My name is Sophia, and I'll be the host for today's panel. I would like to begin by gratefully acknowledging that Science World is located on the traditional and unceded Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh village of Sinnock. We'll start today with a quick introduction from our amazing group of mentors, followed by a discussion. If you have any questions for the mentors, you can put them in the chat and I'll ask them to the mentors. Our technician today is Hannah, and she'll be monitoring the chat. If you have any technical issues, Hannah will be happy to assist. We ask that you keep the comments in the chat and questions section respectful and relevant to the topics that we're discussing. Now, it's time to meet the mentors. Let's start by going around and doing a brief introduction before we jump into the questions. Can we get each of you to let us know your name, your job title, and the thing you love most about your career? Let's start with Griselda.
Hi, my name is Griselda, and I'm a control systems engineer. And what I love the most about my job and my career is that I get to travel all over the world to work on really big, exciting projects.
Thank you. Now, Cam, would you like to share?
Hi, Cam. Hi, everyone. My name is Cam, and I work with Cory. I'm a senior bridge engineer here, and what I do is I design and inspect bridges. And what I like most about my job is that I get to visit some of the bridges that I've worked on, and then be able to tell my kids who are 9 and 5 that, hey, I worked on this bridge, and it's great.
And now, Tomi.
Oh, hi. Yeah, my name is Tomi, and I'm a mechanical engineer. And for 16 years, I worked at a company called Oceanworks, and we built all sorts of underwater equipment, including underwater rescue vehicles for submarines and atmospheric diving suits, and something called a seafloor network for ocean observation. And yeah. Was there another part of the question, or is that it? That was just.
What's your favorite part of your job?
Oh, that's right. The favorite part of my job, I I enjoy helping people. I enjoy helping people in my company, and also that my work serves people. But you know what? Every job helps somebody, no matter what kind of career you choose. So I think what was unique about my job that I liked working with drawings a lot, and ultimately knowing that my design was going to turn into something tangible that I could see. I liked that part.
Thank you. Now, we'll open it up to questions from the chat. So if you have any questions for any of our mentors, just put them in the chat and I'll ask them for you. Now, to start things off, Griselda, how did you get started in your career?
Well, I got started. I studied mechanical engineering in school. I did take some control systems courses, and I thought it was really interesting. And actually, at first, I was thinking about going into robotics after college. But we had a career fair, and Fluor came to the career fair, and they started talking about the projects that they work on. And I realized that they do work on a lot of projects, and I can share some photos with you. If you see the photo with the world, the Fluor offices. So Fluor has offices all over the world, and they work on projects, in anywhere you can think of. And so to me, that was one thing that attracted me to work with Fluor. Now, as a control systems engineer, we get to work in the control room designing these type of screens that you see here. And if you scroll to the plant network photo, this is me at the job site. So I'm not just sitting in the desk, and that's another thing that I love about my job, that I get to go in the field and really, be out there when they're doing the construction and solving problems. So that's part of my job. And if you go to the these are some of the facilities that the plants that we work at, right? This, for example, is like a oil and gas facility, and then we also do mining work. If you scroll to the other photo, there's a mining. This is a big conveyor here. Oh, oh, the photos went away. Yeah. So if you do you have the plant network photo? Oh, yeah, this one here. So as an engineer, we control systems engineer, you're pretty much designing all the instrumentation that goes into these facilities that are monitoring the pressure and temperature of the process, and then all of that has to basically come back up into, let's say, a computer system, that where the operators can control the process of the plant, and then that's done through the control rooms, which was in the other photo that you saw there. So that's kind of my job. It's technical, but we're also in the field. We're working on large scale projects, and and I really like that dynamic, and that's how I ended up keeping going with control systems, yeah. So I don't know if anybody has any questions. I would love to hear any questions you have.
All right. Cam, what is the biggest challenge of your job?
The biggest challenge of my job, huh? I can't think of something off the top of my head. Would somebody else like to go while I think about it, or?
Yeah, I'm thinking for an answer too.
I wouldn't say my job is all easy, but I guess yeah, I can't think of something at the moment about what the biggest challenge is.
What universities did you all go to?
Oh, that I can definitely answer. I went to the University of Alberta, so that's in Edmonton.
I grew up in Nova Scotia, but I went to Queen's University, and I studied mechanical engineering, as I mentioned. I actually, when I was choosing a school, I actually wanted to design boats, and there were only two schools that where I could go and do that, and one was UBC, and the other one was Memorial University in Newfoundland. And I thought, those are. I just thought I'm just going to be more general, and I can probably design boats if I become a mechanical engineer. And but I wanted to try something new, so I did move away and go to Queen's in Ontario. That's in Kingston, Ontario.
I went to school in California. I'm from the States, so I went to Cal Poly Pomona.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Have I?
Yeah.
Is this for me? Maybe.
Yes, I
Have I
think
ever
so.
been in a submarine at the bottom? I haven't been at the bottom of the ocean, but I've been in a submarine. I was in one, like a rescue submarine. We were doing some testing on it, and it was one that we had built for the Australian Navy, and so I got to go to Australia, and we only submerged by a few meters, but you know what? That was enough for me. um, and I've been in a diving suit, but I've only been in a pool and not in the open ocean. But that was enough for me, and I just felt really appreciative that all the engineers had done their work and that I could be safe in there, and that there was someone communicating with me through the uh, through the tether to the surface. So yeah, but engineers. The people that do go to the bottom of the ocean depend on those engineers to make sure that they stay safe and come back safe and sound. Yeah. I imagine going to the bottom of the ocean all the time, though. When you do the engineering work, you're always imagining everything that's happening. So that's fun. question.
What is an accomplishment that you're most proud of?
Mm,
I guess I can go first.
go.
Yeah.
The accomplishment that I'm most proud of is actually a project that I worked on like pretty early after I started becoming an engineer, and that was a pipeline bridge. It's a suspension bridge. I don't know if any of you all know what a suspension bridge is, but the Lionsgate Bridge is an example of a suspension bridge. So I helped do the design. Well, I didn't do the design, but I did the analysis, and analysis means to figure out how the bridge work. What are the loads? Like how much does it have to carry? So I had to figure out how much the suspension bridge has to carry. So my company designed this new suspension bridge to carry some pipelines in a place in Africa. So that was really exciting, and I'm pretty proud of that accomplishment.
That's awesome.
Griselda, would you like to share?
Sure. Yeah, actually, one of my biggest accomplishments was working on a mine in South America. It's a big copper mine, and yeah, I just love being part of the team. And we designed the construction of a large conveyor, and yeah, it's just exciting to work on just huge projects that that are gonna bring like all this benefit to the people that live in that area, right? These are remote areas and countries that maybe are don't have a it really helps the economy when we're able to build these kind of projects in those locations.
And then I have some photos you could show them. There's one of the rescue vehicle, or there's a submarine photo for me. Hannah, I don't know if you're able to find it, but I think I'm most proud of this one. Yeah. So this is a rescue vehicle that we delivered to the U.S. Navy, and I was really proud when we delivered that in 2007. And my one of the big jobs I had on this was to make sure that um, when we finally put it in the water, that it didn't sink. So I kept track of all of the displacement and the weight of every single thing on this vehicle. That was my main. I did a lot of little things on this, but that was one of my bigger jobs, and it actually was a bit too floaty, so we had to add some weight to it. But that was a win as far as we were concerned. That was really wonderful. Um, 'Cause there's a lot of parts that go into it. And then in the next slide, I think there's a something that looks like a crane. So this is the launch system for the rescue vehicle. This thing lifts the vehicle in and out of the water and brings it onto the ship. And I was the lead mechanical engineer on this piece of equipment, and got to travel to Scotland and see it built and tested. And we delivered this to the U.S. Navy in 2007 also. And so I just feel proud um, of this, and it was a small team that worked on this, and we achieved success in delivery. So yeah, that's that's me.
What is one thing you would recommend for girls who want to do engineering? Cam, how about you answer?
One thing I would recommend. Um, Oh, I think a lot of people, when you think about engineering, you're thinking a lot about math and the sciences and all that. But I think in engineering, it's also very important to have good communication skills, either like just talking verbally and also written, because you have to. Work in a team with a lot of team members to talk about ideas, and also when you're talking to the person that you're kind of like designing something for, say, then you'll have to tell them why certain things are done a certain way, things like that. So communication is very important. So I recommend that girls would continue to work on that. And it's not just math. Yeah. Mhm.
Hmm, I agree. Yeah, good one. I see there's a question in the comments. So, what would you use the rescue vehicle for? It's to rescue if there was ever a big submarine on the bottom of the ocean that where people were trapped, the rescue submarine goes down and lands on top of the bigger submarine, and then people inside the bigger submarine can climb into the small rescue submarine and then um, come back up to the surface to the rescue ship.
Oh, I also see in the comments that from Darlene, I live in Kelowna. We have a floating bridge. Yes, so we in Koei, we worked on that floating bridge. And I've been on that floating bridge and walked over it. And yes, it's great to visit the structures that I've worked on. So yeah, it's definitely a great feeling.
Why did you choose to be an engineer? So we were talking about this earlier. When I was younger, I wanted to be a marine biologist because I always was interested in science and math. I always was curious, like how things work. I didn't really know anything about engineering until I got closer to the end of my high school and was looking at universities. And then I thought, well, I think in marine biology, my career options are probably limited. So I decided to go into mechanical engineering because I felt like with a mechanical engineering degree after school, I can kind of go into various industries. One thing I was interested in was robotics. So I was like, I can go into robotics, I can go into control systems, I can, have a little bit more freedom of what I can do with a mechanical engineering degree. But I would say at the core, like even when I was a kid, I love science and I love, trying, to understand how things work and how to make our lives better with technology. So that's definitely why, I do what I do.
And Tommy, why did you choose to be an engineer?
Oh, I echo many of the reasons that Griselda gave. It was, yeah, I think it was partly, I thought it would be, it would be I'd have a solid job coming out of school. That was sort of like a foundational thing, and I wanted to make sure that my studies counted towards a solid job that I would. But I also just I was interested in thinking like an engineer, like having sort of a problem solving skill set, a very systematic approach to that. So I wanted to be able to think like an engineer. Um, yeah, that was mostly it. Diversity of and options in my career.
Cam, why did you choose to be an engineer?
Why did I choose to be an engineer? Well, I really loved math and sciences when I was a kid, and I did not like writing or even talking. So I thought, oh yeah, being an engineer, that would be great. And then, yes, there's lots of math and there is science, but yeah, there's also a lot of communication. So that was a bit of a surprise, but it still turned out to be great. And yeah, I like building stuff, seeing how thinking about how things work, and then analyzing bridges using a computer software to figure out, oh, how does it move? Where do the forces go? It's pretty fun.
And I just mentioned that I was actually not that strong in I was okay in math, but it was probably my weakest subject in high school. But I knew it would be good. I was good enough in math for engineering. I was stronger in writing, but I wanted to be the engineer, so I persevered through the math.
Good job.
If you don't feel like you're the strongest math person, you could still be an engineer.
I was not the strongest math person. I liked math. I did not say I was really strong at math, but yeah, I like math.
Yeah. Good point. I would say my weakest subject was writing and English. I grew up speaking Spanish and I learned how to read and write in Spanish first. So definitely that was a challenge for me and still is. But I think it doesn't matter, if you want something, I think you can work towards it and you will overcome it for sure.
Yes, I would definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
All right, and it looks like we'll be ending soon, so Thank you to all of you for coming to this panel, and thank you, mentors, for sharing your experiences here. Once this panel ends, if you could please return to the mainstream in our lobby for the next activity.
Well, thank you, Sophia. It was great being here.
Yeah, thank you,
Yes.
everybody.
Good job, everyone.